Welcome to the Deasy Show. My name is Andrew, and this week I've got another special guest, this time from across the Pacific, all the way over there in the United States of America, and it's Crystal. Welcome to the show, Crystal.
Hello, thanks for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure. In fact, we're doing this again because we had this chat a week and a half ago, and it wasn't properly recorded. So we're doing it again. So extra double special thank you for your patience to back it up. Now, the story is, well, what we're looking for here is the Crystal story. And the reason is I get a lot of pushback, an excuse, it's sort of a class of excuse, where I will hold up bikini champions, figure champions, whatever, as kind of proof of concept. Look, if you want to lose weight and tone up a bit, here's the most extreme example of losing weight and toning up a bit. If I can build Formula One cars, I can help you improve your Corolla type thing. And that will be dismissed because once somebody reaches a certain level of physical impressiveness, they become, quote, not a real woman. And therefore, the methods that are used to get someone into elite shape don't work or aren't relevant because I'm a real woman and they're not. So what I was hoping to spell out here is, you know, Crystal, obviously, you're not a real woman, but back in the day, is it possible to conceive of a time when you were a real woman?
It's been a long time, but yes.
You've been unreal for a long time. So how long? Take us back to when you were a real woman. What did you look like? What did you feel like? What was the lifestyle?
So I guess that would be, college time frame. I was a bartender, so I got to party and get paid for it, which was wonderful. And I had friends, bartenders that would work out, but that was just never interested me to do that. I didn't need to. I had a young body and I could party and bounce back and just maybe not eat a hamburger or something and just be fine. And I started an office job, and that was in 2009. And office life, sedentary, didn't move a lot. And the years passed, a couple of years passed, and I gained quite a bit of weight. And my husband, he's wonderful, he told me it was time that I might need to start hitting the gym in a nice way.
Okay, what's the nice way? This guy succeeded where millions of men have failed. What's the secret?
He just said, you're how did he say it? It was in a way that was nice enough that we've been together forever. So, we could talk and joke and pick, but the way he said it was in a way like, I married a thin girl, basically. In so many words. And he's an Army man, so he is a traditional Army guy where he hit the gym all the time. He had a lot of muscle. Everybody always called him hot husband. That's just kind of his persona. And so I said, all right, fine, I'll begrudgingly go to the gym. And that was in 2011. And I started with, just because he was traditional bodybuilder too, where Monday was chest day and Tuesday was back day and shoulder day and leg day and so forth. So I kind of went to mimic that and went to the gym and went down the line of equipment and just said, okay, this one's for chest. I'm going to do 3 sets of this. And then this one's for chest. I'm going to do 3 sets of that. And then back is over here. So then I'm going to do some of that, and just kind of loosely went to the gym in 2011, and then really wasn't getting results because I would go to the classes and I would drag some of my friends to the classes too, and then we would go out for pizza or margaritas after. And so there was no progress being made other than I was just in the gym, which is a big step. That really is a big step, just getting to the gym. And then in 2012, New Year's resolution, I said, okay, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm going to just cut out the alcohol because, my husband was telling me that probably I should be having a night drink every night. And so I was, okay, fine, I'll cut that out for a little while. And my favorite Group X instructor, she was going through college at the time. And for her internship, she was able to do a little Get Fit program at the gym. So a lot of people signed up for that. I said, well, I'm doing that. I love her. I'm going to go to her classes. And then we were also buying our supplements off of like bodybuilding.com at the time. And they had a challenge that you could win $100,000 if you win transformation. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm doing Randy's thing. Let me just do this other thing too. And then I had 2 incentives to do it and not fall off the wagon. And so I found a program on bodybuilding.com that was a weightlifting program by Jamie Eason. And it was a 12-week program. So it went along with the $100,000 transformation challenge at the time. And so the little thing at the gym, she brought a nutritionist in, and he actually gave us a packet that was a guide. It was no meal plan or anything like that, but it was a guide. So he had a red label, yellow label, green label foods. And so you could eat as much as you wanted to on like the green stuff, kind of limit yourself on the yellow, and just avoid all the red. Well, things like red meat was on the red, so I try to kind of use that as how to eat during this time frame. The bodybuilding program was Jamie Eason's, and she had a nutritional type information on there too. So there was no real meal plans. She had recipes. So I was making like protein treats at the house all the time. So like I was making protein brownies and, just cookies and different things like that, which a lot of those were cooking with protein so it's not usually the greatest, but I was trying the new things. And after about a month of following the weight training guide and doing the classes like for cardio really and fun, I was noticing a difference on myself. And about 8 weeks in, people at my work were starting to notice a change. And by 12 weeks, I looked like a completely different person. I had lost 30 pounds and toned up pretty good. I was lifting. I was in the man zone at the gym with the free weights. I was no longer doing the equipment, which was, some things I still use the equipment for. And, like the squats, I was doing the Smith machine. And of course, my husband was like, no, you need to go to the squat rack. And I'm like, well, but that's harder. And he's like, exactly. So I finally, after a little while, went over to the squat rack, so long as nobody was curling in it, because that's a thing.
Okay, so if I can interrupt and boil this down, because it ties in with something that I've been thinking about lately. I like my lists of rules and try to boil things down to fundamental principles and things to make it easier for people to understand. And an idea that I've been toying with is just train, just don't drink, just don't eat like an arsehole. And if you were to make it that simple, then I think that would make a world of difference to a heap of people. And what you just said is that you finally got into the gym and you just trained, then you cut out alcohol, and then you had not a strict meal plan, but a guide on how to, not eat like an arsehole. Don't do obviously stupid stuff when it comes to eating. And then
yes,
those 3 things in the context of doing like simultaneous 12-week challenges, boom, you just dropped 30 pounds. So there's like a year of going to the gym or whatever it was where nothing much happened. But then when you get those last 2 pieces in, get rid of the booze, stop eating like an arsehole, no post-workout pizzas and margaritas, and then radical transformation happens. So you go pretty much from a real woman to unreal results in a space of 3 months just by getting a few things right enough. You're still far from perfect, with what you're doing, but still,
yes.
the massive difference between spinning your wheels and going nowhere and then dropping 30 pounds in 12 weeks.
It was huge. And everybody at work, they were just, flabbergasted. Like, what are you doing? What are you eating? And, I had people telling me I was eating too many carbs, because carbs make you fat. And I was just say, okay. I mean, but I need carbs for the fuel in the gym. And I just kind of brushed it off my shoulders. And it became where everybody was interested in what I was eating. What is Crystal eating today? Mm-hmm. What's your snack? And you couldn't really even go to the break room and without people sticking their nose in what you're eating and wondering what why you're eating that. And even if you don't like it, you're still eating it. And I'm saying, well, I know it's got vitamins and like a sweet potato. I didn't like that, but it had vitamins and nutrients, and I would force myself to eat it. Well, why are you eating that? Because I need to eat this, and I'm eating it. And over time, I now like sweet potatoes. But it got so bad that I couldn't sit at the table with my department anymore. I felt uncomfortable, and they would just nitpick everything I was eating. So I removed myself, and it took a few days before somebody asked me, well, what's going on? And I said, well, I'm just tired of everybody asking me, bothering me about my food. So I'm just going to sit over here. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's funny. People are asking the wrong question. Everyone thinks that there's something magical about the sweet potato or about your snack. The question they should be asking that they don't know is, what are you not eating? Because that's what a calorie deficit is. When you see a huge transformation in a short period of time, it's fat loss. No one's going to grow muscle so fast that you can go, holy shit, you're a different person. But when it comes to fat loss, yeah, it's easy, fast, and fun when you get it right. And then what you're seeing is the absence of calories. So whatever you're eating is not very important. It's what you're not eating that is crucially important. So you generated a large calorie deficit and maintained it for 12 weeks. That's it. And people are so dissatisfied with that reality. So they'll keep asking, looking for a better answer, and keep being annoying until you just go, I'm done with you, and walk away. I mean, I've still had it. I remember in Ubud in 2019, I had a guy in the gym asking me, well, what do you eat? You're obviously getting leaner. What's your diet? I'm like, less of what I normally eat. There's no magic thing I'm going to eat that's going to make me leaner. It's just the fact that I'm not eating too much. Yes. And that is, that's the big challenge, to not eat too much, especially if you're used to eating so much. And then, you're hungry all the time. And hell yeah, I'm hungry. Yes, I'm sorry if I'm irritated, but I am hungry. And maybe I didn't sleep good last night either, but, I'm hungry. And so we would walk around our building sometimes during break times, and a couple of people, we'd walk, and we were talking, we'd talk fitness and just try and get the culture going really at the workplace. And so it wouldn't just be such a weird thing for people to be healthy. And so one of the conversations we had was regarding the guy's wife. She was just wanting to go do cardio. And what I told him, I said, well, she'll just become a smaller version of what she is now. She's not gonna, at best, her form, her shape is not gonna change. If you want that, you have to start lifting. And I understand that now. And I just never really looked back after I found weightlifting in 2012. I chased numbers. I thought it was fun to lift heavy weights and stack the plates on the leg press machine. And my husband had me doing pyramid sets where, you start at 50 reps and you go to 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and the fives were rough. And then you get back to the 50 on the back end of it, and you've done
I don't even want to remember how many reps that was, but it was insane.
That would be even rougher than the 5 by that stage.
Yeah, it was because you're so taxed.
Were you doing that on the leg press?
I was, yes.
And you didn't get a divorce. Interesting.
Did not. Like I said, we have a good relationship.
Yeah, evidently so, yeah. Okay, cool. So that gets us to 2012. And really, you've just taken this giant leap in the space of what is really a short period of time. Again,
yes.
I've got to throw the I told you so's out. It's my favorite hobby. I've been telling people for years, within 2 or 3 years, you can look like a fitness model. Like anyone can. It'll take that long. You're only 2 years in or less, where you sort of spun your wheels for a bit, then did a 12-week challenge. Boom, you got most of the way there in terms of losing the fat. Then what happened after that?
So then I kept lifting and kept getting stronger. And then in 2014, our gym changed ownerships, and the new owners talked me into personal training. He said he promised me he would get me on a bikini stage and I would be great. And I was like, okay, all right, sure. So I signed up for personal training, and what I got was a spotter. It was awful. And so I ended up sending my trainer like what I wanted to do. And he, at the hour, when the hour, 45 minutes hour, whatever it was over, he'd have to go to another client and I'd still be working out because I wasn't done.
Yep.
And I really didn't get a lot of value out of it, but I put my mind to doing a bikini competition. So that's what I did. I did the last one of the season in our state, and it was a lot of fun. I said, all right. And I wanted my husband to do it with me too, but he didn't. And then in 2015, we were going to do one together. And well, I got pregnant. So that didn't happen. And we had a baby. And then I just kept going to the gym while I was pregnant. I had friends telling me all the time, once the baby comes, you're never going to go back to the gym. That was fuel for me to go back to the gym. Yep. People tell me I can't. You damn well believe I'm about to try and do it.
These are the same people who tell you that you can't eat carbs.
Yes, same people. Mm-hmm. Same people, same friends. And so baby came, and obviously it's tough to go to the gym. It's tough to do that. And I would leave my girl with my mama, and she'd tell me to hurry. So I'd go to the gym and I'd hurry as fast as I can and get back. And eventually I was able to leave her in like the childcare, which was tough because she would cry a lot whenever I would leave and just cry. And, they would call me and say, we can't get her to stop. And so I'd say, okay, I'd have to cut my workout short, but we'd try again. And eventually she loved going, but I started singing a little song to her on the way to the gym to, make her excited to go. And eventually she would just sing the song as we're driving, and she's little. I mean, she's like a year and a half, so she's just barely talking. And she had fun. She met a little friend, so she would be excited whenever that girl was in there. And that mama was pretty fit too, so that was cool. I could talk to her a little bit and kind of share the same experiences. And then my nutrition still was not the greatest after pregnancy, because during pregnancy I ate everything. I ate all the donuts. I ate all the cake. I ate all the pizza. I ate it all. And so I did. I gained. I was over 200 pounds whenever I was giving birth. So it was a lot to have to lose. Easy, fast, and fun.
Easy, fast, and fun.
It stayed on me for a little while because of the nutrition. The nutrition just wasn't there. But the gym, like I said, I'd go as much as I could. And I finally had gotten that routine in, and my husband was deployed in 2017, 18. And towards the end of the deployment, he started buying gym equipment for our house. And I didn't understand why we would want that, because we had a gym. Mm-hmm. We went to the gym, and he said, well, I want to be able to work out at home. That way I'm not leaving the house. I can, have our little girl in there with us sometimes. I said, okay, well, that's fine. So he got a squat rack and barbell, some bumper plates, and I went to go work out, and I'm like, well, where's the bench? We don't even have a bench. Where's the dumbbells? We don't have dumbbells. And so, for me to even consider not going to the gym, we had to have a bench that would be an incline, decline, flat. Like I wanted it to do everything, because we were very limited on space in a 1-car garage. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted dumbbells that were adjustable, that would be easy enough to adjust. And we now have 2 sets of adjustable dumbbells, but we started with the one kind of clunky Iron Master set. And, you stick the pin and you got to turn it and, throw the plates on, and it's cumbersome, but it worked. It was a great start. So I said, okay. And I went and canceled my membership and said, how do I do all these gym workouts in this? It's how am I going to accomplish what I was doing here? Mm-hmm. And it was tough. It took, every time I'd go work out, I would be sitting there looking at YouTube or, Googling exercise substitutions, because how am I going to do a leg press?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can squat. Okay, I'll do that. I can squat. That's fine. And then how do I do leg curls? What do I do for that?
Yep. This is, again, another thing. People are resistant because the gym is for fit people and I'm not fit people. Therefore, I don't belong. So I'm not going to go, and I need to get in shape before I go to the gym. Insane. That's what the gym is for. And they'll have a whole bunch of emotional resistance. They're just sort of scared of being there, basically. And they think that a good solution to that is to train at home, is to get a tiny bit of equipment and then train at home. But actually, you're really throwing yourself into the deep end in terms of difficulty, because it's so much harder and you really need to know more. Like at this stage, you've already got, if my maths is right, 6, 7 years, maybe 8 years of experience, and you're still finding it difficult to do at home what you were doing in the gym. Now, if you're a beginner with no idea, you don't even know what you're trying to, like, what you're trying to achieve, and then you have to sort of work backwards and find a way to make it happen. Some people, or not some, a lot of people are out there buying half of the equipment or less than you have, and they don't even know what they're trying to achieve. Like, this is not the easiest solution. It's much easier to sort of get over your fear of the gym, because that happens really quickly. It's just like jumping into the cold water. It's fine once you're in, Just go to the gym, and you're going to
the gym.
You're going to find out.
I do not regret starting there. I do miss sometimes going to the gym. I got to go to a commercial gym a couple of days ago because we were traveling, and that was fun because I hadn't been in a gym in so long, that just being able to look at all the different equipment and try different things, and maybe not do something that's in the program, but just go and try different machines and try different equipment that I wouldn't have access to, or maybe that I'd like to add in the future. Because, people they think that it's easier for me because I have a home gym. It really isn't.
Yep.
You still have to go and do it. You still have to have an idea or knowledge of how and what you're trying to achieve, like you said, and figuring that out is tough. And when I first started working out, I immersed myself in learning and reading, and if I wasn't doing anything. My mind just went straight into hyper focused into trying to learn. And this was 2012. 2011, like I said, I just kind of was just there and had fun. We did the classes. It was just a lot of, I enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun, but there was no results being had. And that was in 2012 was whenever I got that laser focused and said, okay, I'm reading as much as I can. I'm going to educate myself as much as I can and figure it out. If they can do it, I can do it.
Yep. So you and your husband started building out this home gym as a convenient solution because it's better than the child daycare, and you're saving time on traveling and back and forth to the gym, etc. And that's exactly what it is. It's you've now got control. Hours, opening hours, public holidays, snow day, none of this is an issue. So you have a convenient solution. And what a lot of people are out there doing is they're buying this convenient solution, but convenience wasn't the problem. Like if your problem is you're too scared to go to the gym, you don't have the habit, you're too lazy, whatever it is, the fact that the gym is a few meters away instead of a few miles away actually makes no difference. If like you never had any intention of going in the first place, you're not going to go into your own garage either.
Well, it's just like people that buy ellipticals and treadmills at their house and they become coat hangers.
Drying racks for clothes. Yeah, exactly.
They're drying racks. They never get used because you have to have the discipline. And maybe when you get all the stuff, you're motivated and you're excited about it because you just spent all this money and you feel like you have to go do it. But then once the new wears off, are you going to keep going? And are you going to keep showing up? And that's what it boils down to. Friends will ask me, what should I get for my home gym? And I'm like, well, I mean, at the very least, you're going to have a barbell and some plates, and you probably want a rack so that you can actually use the barbell to its full potential. You're probably going to need at least some exercise resistance bands to get started, because that's how I did my lat pull downs. I had resistance bands and I'd set them up on my rack and I'd pull down, and I mean, it worked. It did what it did do. I still grew lats, but when we finally did get our cable machine, it was a game changer for me.
Yeah,
I'm now able to just actually do true pull like lat pull downs.
Yep.
Whereas the bands that you've got a lot of stability muscles having to work for that too. Trying to keep it in the line that it needs to be in, and no handles to grab onto, just holding the, it's
ghetto
MacGyver,
MacGyver.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just out there.
That's a nice way to put
MacGyver in
it. Yes, you're right though. Like the barbell set, a rack, a bench, cool. You've just spent about a year's worth of a gym membership.
Or more.
Easily. In America, gym memberships are cheap. This is one of the things you guys probably don't know because it's just sort of where you live. But you spend a year's worth of gym membership and you've got a tiny amount of equipment, really, and you require a lot of knowledge on how to best implement that. I really think a beginner should be starting in the gym. It's going to be a much better, better investment.
I agree. I agree. And then you have the people that you can look at and say, wow, look at their physique. What are they doing? Maybe I should mimic that, because maybe you don't have a plan. Maybe you are just going into the gym and you're wandering around like I did at the very beginning. No clue, scared to go over there where those meatheads and females that looked amazing were, it was intimidating, and I never wanted to step foot over there. I was like, I'm happy over here in my little machine world. and eventually though, I got a weight training program. I said, okay, now I have to go over there. And I was nervous and it was scary, and nobody was mean. If anything, people are helpful. They want to help you, or, they maybe tell you, hey, you might want to, move your elbow a certain way and you're going to feel it more wherever. And, I value all of that information that was given to me like that. I was never aggravated when people would, come and give me unsolicited advice. And, I took it and either I would use it or not, but I was never just mean. And I've helped people in the gym too that just look like they don't really, know what they're doing. Maybe they're struggling. Like, hey, let me show you how to do that real quick. And then I'd go about my business.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of helpful people in the gym. It's not just, it's scary, but they're helpful.
They're helpful if you ask. How, what was the split of, like, when you go and hand out unsolicited advice, what was the split between people who are like, oh, wow, thank you, and a frosty reception of mind your own business?
I don't think I ever really got the frosty.
Okay, I guess it's just me then.
Mind your own business. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're intimidating. Look at you.
I was talking to a client just earlier this week, and he was saying, "Oh, there's this guy doing deadlifts, and it's just all bad. He's in there each week. You see the usual crew at the usual time." And I'm like, "Oh, should I say something?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know," because this client of mine is a big, intimidating dude as well. Like, you just don't know how people are going to react, and there would be a lot more helpful people in the gym who proactively help each other if there weren't so many people who are insecure and scared and then have this big defensive reaction to somebody coming up and giving them pointers.
Well, it could be where you live too. So, I live in the South Louisiana. So people are pretty friendly.
Sure.
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. Not like Australia.
I think you just have to really know your audience, and maybe like you said, this guy has seen this other dude doing deadlifts on multiple occasions. So you do kind of get the regulars, the people that are there at the same time every day, and you kind of know what they're going to be doing, or maybe you don't, or maybe you pass them and you say, "Oh, what you working today?" And they, "Oh, I'm doing this." Oh, whatever. And the guy, if the guy's got bad form with deadlifts, he's probably going to end up hurting his back. And he won't be deadlifting for a while.
Yep. How's your back?
Back injuries are tough. My back is okay right now. I have learned to work around the problems. I saw a back doctor earlier this year, and X-rays and MRIs showed that my vertebrae don't line up properly, and I don't have a lot of space for in between the vertebrae. So I have nerves being compressed and a lot of inflammation going on there. And, back when I started in 2012, my back kind of bothered me back then too, after I do squats or deadlifts or something, and maybe it was bad form, maybe it was just beginnings. And it was I think it's just been there a long time. Mm-hmm. And this year is when it really just put me down. And so I've had a couple of steroid shots in my back. So now I'm on steroids.
Good for you. So your back issue was like perhaps a degenerative thing over time, or from
mechanical
being on your feet too much as a bartender or something like that. It wasn't I lifted a heavy weight, something went bang and I hit the floor. That didn't happen?
So we've been thinking, my husband was thinking back, years, decades. I went parasailing on the river with one of my mom's boyfriends, and I didn't go first, like somebody else went first, and I'm watching from the boat. And I'm like, okay, that looks fun. And there's trees on either side of the river, right? Well, the guy turns around in a really big zone, and then we go back to the spot where we launched, and then it was my turn. And so I get up, I'm going. Well, the dude turns around in a different spot. I hit a tree.
Oh, God.
And It whipped me on the back, and then I instantly dropped into the water, and the boat pulled me underwater for quite some time. The safety thing didn't actually unlatch. It was horrifying.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fucking traumatic.
I thought I was dead. And needless to say, my mom never talked to that guy again.
You ruined it for him.
I mean, so that we think that might be where it started from.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know. We really don't know. I mean, I just feel like I've always had my back's always just kind of bothered me, but never to the extent that it was this earlier this year. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was lifting. I don't think that was the reason. I just think that time and me not addressing the problem, a decade ago when it was bothering me, maybe if I would have addressed it then, maybe things would have been different. But I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like
doctors are for sick people.
I don't like doing any of that, and I'm like, no, and I'm good. And then finally I said, all right, I guess I'm just going to go get seen about. And it wasn't even 2 months later that I was in so much pain that my daughter was having to help me put my shoes on and tie my shoes for me because I couldn't bend down and do that. But after the epidural steroid injections, that it's like night and day. I feel so much better. And I mean, I guess if I just have to keep doing this every 6 months, it's not horrible. The other option is surgery and fusions, and I don't know that I'm ready for that. Especially because now I can work around everything. I don't have pain when I'm lifting. It's I don't do traditional deadlifts anymore. I do Romanian deadlifts. And earlier this year, I was rehabbing and just only doing my bar, which is 33 pounds. It's a women's bar. Mm-hmm. So it's a little lighter and a little smaller diameter. Mm-hmm. But just doing the 33 pounds was, I had to go slow. And I'm up to 125 pounds now.
Very nice. Very nice.
So,
so this year was particularly rough for you, wasn't it?
It was.
In terms of the backs, that's when it really became a problem. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. So here's another, like, how many real woman boxes are we ticking here? Just trying to tie it back to the theme. So, we started the office job and got out of shape. We've been a mum at 200 pounds. We've been bullied by people telling you that you can't eat carbs or whatever stupid advice, the environment, etc. And you've got a back injury that's just not going to go away. It's just something you live with. I can relate. My one was different because it was a deadlift. It's another story. But yeah, once you've got that compressed disc, that's your little gift for life. So you've got all of these circumstances, all of these excuses, and yet even this year when it was really flaring up badly, you've actually had tremendous results. But we're getting out of chronology. We were up to 2017, 2018, husband's on deployment. Is flying Black Hawks then?
He was a pilot back then. Yes. I was trying to think of when he started flying. It's been a while. Yes, he was doing Black Hawks then.
When was he not a pilot? When is a pilot not a pilot? We're always pilots. Trust me.
Well, he was a wrench turner prior.
Okay.
So he fixed the heavy wheel vehicles like the Humvees, and so he was the last guy on the convoys. Yep. And the one that stops on the side of the road and fixes everything. And then his first or second deployment, he was a door gunner in the Black Hawks.
Yep.
So once he did that, they sent him to flight school.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty much right after he got home from that deployment.
Awesome.
And yes. And so now he's no longer in the Army or flying Black Hawks, but he is still a pilot.
Yeah, he flies Airwolf now, I know. Anyway.
Yes, he does.
That's a funny story no one will get, but never mind. 2017, 2018, we're building out the home gym. We're collecting more equipment. We're solving the challenges of how do I do leg curls and blah, blah, blah. Then what happened after that into 2019, etc.?
So back to the leg curls. Let me tell you what I was doing.
Okay.
Before I got proper equipment, I had those Iron Master dumbbells, and they've got the flat bottom, and I would put that on the back, like on the top of my foot, and I would curl my leg up. That is pretty terrifying because that weight could drop on your back at any moment.
Yeah.
But, that's the shit that I was doing to,
How bad do you want it?
Don't do stupid shit.
It's one of the rules is don't do stupid shit.
That was stupid shit. That was so stupid.
That's definitely stupid.
I eventually hooked up one of the bands to the rack.
That's a bad
and I would do that.
Yeah.
But for a little while, I was adding more and more weight on those dumbbells. It was pretty sketchy and pretty scary and pretty stupid.
Yep. Cool. Nothing bad happened. You got away with it.
I did. Nothing bad. No, nothing bad happened.
Yeah,
thankfully, I got smart and got a piece of equipment that actually is a leg curl machine.
Nice.
So yeah, 2019, we decided that we would move a little closer to my husband's work because by then I was working from home and I could pretty much live anywhere, and he was having to commute an hour to work and an hour back every day. So we moved closer to his work, and the property that we bought had a pool house, which perfect for the gym. Air conditioned, no longer in the dusty garage. We had a lot more space, so it was a lot of space, and we built our gym back out. And about this time, that was whenever I decided to get back serious with my nutrition and just following a plan and not just kind of doing whatever I felt like doing in the gym. Getting back on that 12-week program again and dusting all that off and started training. I transformed again. I went from very, very soft to muscles again, and it was a great transformation. And then COVID hit, and then I felt horrible for everybody that was in the gym.
Who wasn't in the gym?
Because now who wasn't in the gym? Because now I had this home gym, and like I couldn't be excited and post about it on Facebook, like, oh, I'm going to work out, and any of that stuff. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I'm just going to keep working out, and I hate it for all these people that that is part of your lifestyle. You go to the gym, you go there every day, and then you cannot even go. Or if you do go, you got to stay 6 feet or in a bubble or wear a mask. Like, you can't even breathe. No, that's it.
Yep.
It was awful. It was a very bad, dark time frame for everybody, I think. Mm-hmm. But then in 2021, we had a really bad storm. Ida, hurricane, flooded our gym. And so I was displaced out of the gym for several months while we rebuilt. Basically, you have to rebuild, put the walls back up and everything. And I was working out in my house in my little sunroom. I drug my bench in. I drug my barbells, my adjustable dumbbells. I drug some of those horse stall mats that are the gym floor, which weigh over 100 pounds each.
Wow.
We drug some of those in the house. They're not easy to move. But my workouts were they were a joke at best, but I did what I could. And I was distracted a lot. It was easy to be distracted in my house because I would see something that maybe needed to go be straightened up and I would walk away. And I was never really focused, but I did the best I could. And while we were rebuilding the gym, I found a bigger squat rack Arm Marketplace. So I got a good deal on that. And we sold the little half rack that we had. And now our gym is pretty big. People come over and they're just, this is your home gym.
Yeah, it's a commercial gym in the pool house.
It is. So don't buy me roses, buy me gym equipment. That's, that's basically where I'm at now in my life. I when birthdays come around, my birthday's close to Mother's Day, so I typically will say, I want this piece of equipment, and so we've kind of buy a big piece around that time frame,
yep.
Just because I want more. And the commercial gym I worked at it a couple of days ago, they had a reverse hyper machine, and my husband's been wanting one of those for years, and I just could never really. He's like, it'd probably be good for your back, and all this stuff, and I'm like, it's too big of a footprint and all this. And
it is big.
It is big.
Huge.
And so I finally got a chance to try one out, and now I want one.
Everyone who tries one wants one. The things.
It was amazing.
Yeah, the things that you don't see very often, the reverse hyper and the belt squat. You don't see them in many commercial gyms.
This gym had both.
Of course it did. Yeah, yes. If a gym has one, it may very well have the other. Everyone who tries either of those things is like, oh, I need this.
So the belt squat, we did get a rack attached belt. Like it's on like a pin, and it hinges, and it does the job. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It works for what it is, and they make a rack attached reverse hyper. So I've looked at that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think we can do this. So
nice.
Next year, next year's birthday present. And
it likely would be good for your back. So that would be a good idea.
Yes. Yes, it felt great. It really did. Because I can't do back extensions anymore. That's one thing that hurts my back a lot.
Yep. And
even before, I was wearing a belt for back extensions because it would just help get the pressure off. Yeah. And
ain't gonna do much.
No, but I think it helped. But now
psychosomatic.
Just laying over it's too much. It hurts. It pinches something, and I can't do that. So, but that reverse hyper, it's working the same muscles, and without that flexation, and so
same, but very different.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. All right.
Yes.
Right. So we survived Hurricane Ida and COVID, and then what happened?
So then I've just kind of kept pushing along, and I found you in 2022. I joined Fit Girl Club. I think it was like in March, and then I joined the May Blitz that same year, and my results were awesome. And learned about flexible dieting, which was really cool because I never really fully understood how to eat after 10 years of working out. Like, I felt like I had the gym part down, but not really, because my workouts changed every 2 weeks. So there was really not a lot of chance to do that progressive overload. Yes, I would maybe look at my gym diary and say, okay, I did arm curls. I did, 15 pounds, 15 times. Well, today I'm going to try and do 17 and a half. So there was a little progressive overload going on. Otherwise, there wouldn't be very much change going on. But, your programs and the way that you've taught me how to eat has really just changed everything, because I used to maybe never eat brownies or like a piece of cake or something like that, because that's bad food, right? So that's in the red food zone. Like, I can't eat that. But now I say, okay, well, this cookie has 12 carbs, 4 grams of fat, and 1 gram of protein, and that goes in my diary, and that's exactly all it is. It's carbs, fat, and protein. That's it. It's not nutrient dense. It's a treat. And I eat it, and it's okay. And I have no desire to feel like it's a bad, not desire, but I don't have that.
There's no emotional
look of food.
situation around it. It's just food. Yeah.
It's just food, and I can enjoy it. People now are like, "You're going to eat all that?" Hell yeah, I'm going to eat all that. Yeah, I am. I'm going to eat it all. I can't believe you buy king cakes and you eat king cakes. Well, okay, king cakes are a thing in South Louisiana around Mardi Gras time.
Okay.
And they're wonderful. They're basically just cinnamon rolls. They're like a cinnamon braided dough, and then this icing stuff on top of it. And I mean, I'll have one on my counter pretty much every week.
Okay.
Now I might not be the one eating it all.
That's
I share. I do share. But I weigh the thing, and I eat it, and I'm happy. And before I might not have would have ever done that before flexible dieting and understanding how many carbs and proteins and stuff. And I was also one of those girls that said, "This is too many carbs." Whenever I saw the amount of carbs that your plans give, and now I say, it's not enough carbs.
It's not enough carbs.
I want more. I've been on poverty macros for so long now that 150 carbs is tough.
That's not a lot.
If
that's a small number.
It is a small number, and I sent you a picture of my meal prep for my trip, and my rice was 56 grams cooked, and y'all, that's about like this much, right? But then I did have some black beans in there to add some carbs and some protein, and I had some vegetables that I don't count because I just don't count my vegetables. Maybe I should, but I'm not, because I want another grain of rice.
Because it's working for you. Yep.
It's working. It is. I do track, like when I put water flavoring in my water, it ends up being about 10 grams of carbs that I'm drinking. And, so now I'm only eating 140 carbs. It's just so sad. It's so sad.
Brutal. Okay.
So sad.
So you did the Blitz. I think you did double Blitz in 2022. And now this.
I did.
All right. So, and then flexible dieting arrives. You've now been more consistent in that 2022 to 2025 timeframe compared to previously. Obviously, there's a pregnancy in there. That's a bit different. But you've been pretty consistent because you can do flexible dieting, because it's made it more of a lifestyle. Even though it starts with like a cheesy 8-week challenge style Blitz, it actually smoothed out the process of being able to eat like a normal person somewhat, but in smaller portions or appropriate portions. Yes. Okay, cool. And then this year you did Accidentally Hot, which is the new program that I launched. And how'd you go with that?
It was great. I enjoyed all the content. You go into details about nutrients and vitamins and just taking different, like zinc and magnesium, which I just started taking that this year, right before Accidentally Hot. I started taking that at night because, I hear it's supposed to help us sleep, and I think it really does. It has. I've slept really well.
Yeah, great.
The last few years I've slept really well. Just probably because I got my diet under control, and I'm not just eating, because like when you eat processed, just convenient food all the time, you're sluggish. You don't even realize that you're sluggish, and it just becomes part of who you are, right? And then when you start eating mindfully and you're eating with a little more purpose and a little more thought and cleaner, if you will, just more whole ingredients, your body feels so much better, and you can actually feel your body changing whenever you eat something that maybe you no, you shouldn't have.
Yep.
Example would be, I was at a bonfire a few weeks back, and they had s'mores, and I'd planned to eat a s'more because I know what's in a graham cracker, I know what's in a marshmallow, and I know what's in a piece of chocolate. I'm going to eat that. Well, somebody brought homemade brownies. I was like, whoa, I'm not going to eat the s'more. I'm going to have a brownie. So I did that. And I'm talking to the lady that made the brownies. She's like, oh, you got to go try this cookie. She brings me this cookie that's like the size of my head, and it was full of so much was going on with it. And, I had no intention of eating the whole thing, but I did end up eating the whole thing. Instant regret. I could feel the sugar and the stuff just going through my body. I was like, okay, now I got the diabetes. And they're like, oh, you can just get on the elliptical and just work that right off, won't you? And I just like looked at her like, no, I just have to eat less tomorrow. Like, oh, but that was but that's how everybody thinks, that it doesn't stick to somebody like me. It sure does.
Because now we're well said. We're tying it all together. Now you're not a real woman. So now it doesn't stick to you. Now calories don't work the same way for you than they used to, because you have magical special powers, which is why whatever it is you're doing isn't relevant for a beginner. But in reality, of course, any calories are going to stick to you the same way they stick to anybody else. And
yes,
as dramatic a transformation as you've had over 11 years or even the last few years, you don't really do anything differently, do you?
No.
Fundamentally, it's you hit the gym and then you don't eat too much and you eat a bunch of protein. And then
every time.
And then the only optimization is, okay, if I'm doing this anyway, why don't I try to focus on healthy foods rather than just macronutrients? And then you go, wow, I actually feel better. I have a greater sense of well-being whilst getting in or staying in awesome shape. So what sort of shape are you in now? Everyone's looking at your delts. They're quite obvious. We see
I'm in pretty good shape.
The wardrobe's been selected strategically there. So yeah, you had like a goal weight of what? Because you were sort of, when you were in shape, you were always like 140-ish pounds, yeah?
Yes. And so my goal weight in 2014, I decided was 130 pounds. I have never reached 130 pounds. Mm-hmm. I last weigh-in was 132.
Woo.
Maybe I'll get there in a couple weeks. Maybe I won't, because I am unofficially blitzing with you, and I'm also following the Accidentally Hot program at the same time, which is really cool. If anybody gets a chance to do that, I suggest doing it, because you're going to hear the similar information different ways. Mm-hmm. And, I think knowledge is power, and just hearing things multiple times in a different way is great. And even reading about it differently, because at Accidentally Hot, you have a lot of text that you write out. There's a lot of text in the Blitz too, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of text. So if you're not going to read, don't do neither one of them, because you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah. Cool. So now, like, you're jacked. You've got a lot of muscle, and yet you're only 132 pounds.
Yes.
So we started out the office worker who was getting out of shape at like a 170-ish with no muscle, because if you don't train, you got no muscle. That's just the way it is. And for the pedants out there, I know you have muscle, but I mean, like, muscle that you can really see and do something with. 170, yeah. 170 with no muscle, now 132 and jacked. Like, your shoulders and back are like out of control, aren't they? They
are. And the picture, one of my favorite pictures is of my back. Right after the second Blitz, I had a photographer come and take pictures in my gym. Mm-hmm. And I had it made into a flag for my gym. and a Deasyism is printed on it also. And it says, you don't deserve muscle growth just for showing up.
Yep.
And that, I look at that every day. So it's a lot of things that you say, don't do stupid shit, don't puss out, those things. the answer is always more consistency. Those are always in my head. And, I'm constantly, is this going to be beneficial for what I'm trying to achieve? Or is this going to hinder me? You got to think that way. And yes, there's been times, even during the last, 6 weeks, especially at the beginning of the Blitz, I had some out of control, like I just wanted to eat everything, and I did. And I hated myself for it. But I didn't want to hate myself for it, because just go use that as fuel tomorrow in the gym, and hopefully you didn't hurt yourself too much. And, maybe, yes, I look back on that and I'm like, if I wouldn't have done that, where would I be at 130 pounds today? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
you probably didn't add 2 pounds of fat. So
no, well, probably not.
Probably
and,
not.
Over our trip, it was Thanksgiving. So, I ate all the foods, and that was basically all I ate all day.
So, all right, cool. So, but to wrap it up, it sounds like, all the things that you just listed, just showing up to the gym isn't enough, like not to grow muscle. The answer is always more consistency. Don't do stupid shit. All these sorts of things. And you're always conscious of these things and keeping them top of mind. Is that perhaps the definition? Is that why you're not a real woman? Is that the actual transformation? Is the way that those people think versus the way that you think? That's the difference.
You have to change. Yes, you have to change your mindset. And I think it drives my husband crazy that I'm always thinking about food and my next meal, and, just what I'm going to eat in the day. And he's like, you're always thinking about food. Like, well, yeah, because it makes such a difference in what you're trying to achieve. If you're just going through the motions, you're not going to get there. You cannot out exercise. A bad diet, it's not going to work. You can't do it.
Yep.
You have to be eating mindfully, and eat for. My cat just busted in.
That's a big ass cat.
I to lock the door.
It's an anabolic cat. Yeah, so like maintenance is easy, but change is hard. Like you have to force that change, and it's going to be a force of will over yourself, over passing fancies. You have to force yourself to stay on the straight and narrow if you're really going to change your physique.
You really do. And you have to educate yourself. You have to immerse yourself in it. Otherwise, it's just a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
You just have to show up every day, even if you don't want to. There's been so many times that, I have a home gym. It's easy for me. Well, I can tell you Saturday mornings, I don't feel like going to work out.
Yep.
I feel like just doing other house chores that need to be done. But I get myself in there and I get it done, because that's just who I am. And it's part of my identity that shows up even when I don't want to.
Brilliant. Oh, excellent. That's what I say in the Blitz, like before the Blitz starts in the preseason. It's like you have to become the person who is capable and willing of showing up and doing the things. The things don't matter at all if you're not the person who is capable and willing to just keep showing up.
Yes.
So that's why you are now unreal. I think the last few minutes have been brilliant. That should explain reality to all the people who think that you are unreal and people like you are unreal. Anything else you would add to inspire the beginners who want to do something like you've done, who want to be someone like you are? Any final thoughts?
You can do it. Just show up. And show up with a plan. You have to show up with a plan, and just get there.
Yep.
Don't give up. It's hard. It sucks a lot of times. Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck.
You got to embrace the.
That's a U.S. Armyism. I love that one.
It is.
I know that one.
Embrace the suck, because it's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt, and you might even want to cry, and you might even want to give up, but don't, because it's worth it. It really is. It's worth it.
Excellent. I think we'll end there. Thank you so much for your time again, Crystal. Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.